Turn Jets.
The Opera House here in downtown Cleveland. The beautiful Cavs cheerleaders in the house. We're starting polka band. First Take crowd is hype. We're pretty excited about our next guest.
Yeah.
He won 3 championships with the Showtime Lakers. He's also former NBA Coach of the Year. Let's give it up for Byron Scott.
What's up, Jay? What's happening? You too.
Coach been doing that cardio, boy. You looking lean,
Man.
Ready to go.
Trying to stay in shape, man. You know, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do nowadays.
Say it, baby.
Well, you're doing it well.
Well, thank you.
Want to get your thoughts on this here. So 4 to 5 bookmakers in Las Vegas told ESPN that the Warriors would be favored over that 72-win Bulls team. You played on the Dynasty Showtime Lakers. Who's the greatest team of all time?
The greatest team of all times is the 1988 Los Angeles Lakers.
A little bias there, huh?
You know, I'm a little biased, but you know, I love that Chicago team with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. You know, I was a big fan of those guys and the way they played the game. But if that 88 team that we had, who had won 13 straight playoff games the night before the series started, and Jalen knows this as well as Marcellus, you know, I tore my hamstring. Magic pulled his in game 1. We go on to lose those next 4 games. If we're healthy, you know, there's no telling. There's no way we would sweep that team in Detroit because that team was very good. But it would have been a great series, and I think we'd have won that series, though.
What about the Bulls Warriors? Who are you taking in that?
I'm taking the Bulls right now. I'm taking the Bulls. And I think just because of the fact that you got MJ and you got Scottie, you got Rodman, you got all those guys who were just such tremendous defenders that you could put MJ on a Curry. You could put Scottie Pippen on a Kevin Durant. You know, so from a defensive standpoint, I thought those guys were so good defensively that they can guard pretty much anybody. And the way they ran their offense and everything kind of ran through Michael and Scottie, I just, you know, I look at that team in the 96 era with Chicago, the way they played, that I don't think Golden State could beat them right now. But, you know, different eras, the way they're playing right now, I don't know if anybody could beat them.
Different eras, different rules, hand checking, legal defense, the ages of Chicago, 35-year-old Rodman, 33-year-old Jordan, you got a 32-year-old Pippen, and then no one on the Warriors that is in their core 4 is over 30. So it's a young running team versus a Bulls team. I'm torn on that one. At first you hear and you say Bulls, and then you say,
You got to think about it, right?
maybe that's a Bull. You know,
You got to think
about it. So you look at what Golden State's doing right now. One, do you see any way that Cleveland can come back in this series?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a series. I still think that.
A series meaning?
I think it's going to be a series in meaning that, now, I'm sorry because I love the Cleveland fans. I was here for 3 years. They're unbelievable. But Golden State's going to win it in 6. But, you know, I still think.
You still ain't let it go, huh? Your Cleveland day. Let them go.
Sorry, but, you know, but I'm just calling it like I see it. And Golden State right now went 7 games last year with no disrespect to, Harrison Barnes. But Kevin Durant is a different animal. And you put him in that lineup with the team that they have now and the fact that they lost last year. So they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder right now going on with Steph and the rest of those guys. And then you add a Kevin Durant. It's going to make it very tough. But, the one thing about the Cavs, and especially with LeBron on this team, you don't count those guys out. Anytime you got the king on that team, they got a chance. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Golden State also and their coaching. I mean, they got tremendous players on the court. It seems like they got tremendous coaching staff as well. Luke Walton came in, had a tremendous stint. Then you see Mike Brown undefeated in the playoffs. But Steve Kerr came back game 2, and you saw that offensive explosion. Can you tell us how much he means to them in terms of his coaching experience?
Well, anytime you have a general that's missing for a period of time, the troops are always going to be a little bit leery on if he's going to come back and be able to lead the way he led when he left. When Steve Kerr came back, that just gave them an extra boost and an extra, that extra confidence that they need to know that they can go out there and play the game the way they know they can play. So it's always important when you have your head coach there, the man that you listen to his voice on a day-to-day basis. He has a sense of calmness when he's on that bench that I think that he brings to that team, but he also gives them a sense of confidence to knowing that they can just go out there and play their style of basketball. And we know the way he reacts with his players and the way he interacts with his players is something that is probably marveled by a lot of us as coaches, because they seem to have a harmony about themselves as a unit. That right now, they're in a fishbowl. Everybody's in looking in, trying to figure out what they're doing, and they're just keeping everything simple. And I think Steve just brings that, that added dimension to them as an organization and as a team to just kind of let them go out there and do the things that they're doing. And they do those things naturally, I think.
Molly said it earlier, it's not truly a series until the home team loses the game.
Absolutely.
Now, Ty Lue is in that position to where if they go down 0-3, I'm going to get out of Wally's broom for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
A tombow, a thing, whatever. They will be getting swept. So I think they're going to win Game 3, but it's going to have to be the role players. What can he do to get those guys going?
You talking about Tyrone, right?
Ty Lue.
Ty Lue. It's hard when you got role players that aren't playing to their capabilities, but the one thing that is good for them right now is that they're back home. And role players play better when they're at home. They're more comfortable in their situation of being at home, their environment of being at home. They know they got the home crowd fans behind them. But those role players know that they got to show up. J.R. Smith, who I love, Tristan Thompson, who I love, those guys, they got to come big tonight. Not tonight, but tomorrow night if they expect to win this series. LeBron's doing everything. We know that. He can't do much more. And I think second half of the games, he's just running out of gas because he has to do it on both ends of the floor. He needs some of those guys to alleviate some of that pressure on the offensive end. They got to start making shots. If they do that, then I think they got a chance to win.
Byron, explain this to me. When the role players aren't really getting going, is that more on Ty Lue or is that more on LeBron to kind of garner them?
To me, it's more on the role players themselves.
Okay.
I played with Magic Johnson and Kareem and James Worthy and all those guys, and there were series where I wasn't having good series, and I had to take it upon myself to get going. So I don't blame it on the coach. I don't blame it on the star players. Sometimes as a role player, you got to figure out a way to get your butt in that game and get involved in it, and that's on them. So I'm looking at, two of the guys that I just mentioned who I love to death. They got to take this upon themselves to come out Game 3 and be ready to go. Now, LeBron is being the facilitator and Kyrie is a facilitator. You got to get them a couple of shots early to see if you can get them off, but they got to make it a point to be a little bit more aggressive.
Now, Coach, you said we're going to have a series here, so I want to know, go on record, are they going back to Oakland, Golden State, tied 2-2?
Yes.
I'm going to say they're going to go back to Oakland down 3-1.
Well, we know what that sounds like. Last year, you better hope.
Appreciate the honesty with that.
Down 3-1. I think Golden State, and every team, when you got home court advantage, and this was always one of our biggest things back in the 80s, is that, let's take care of home, and then when we go on the road, let's get a split. If we get the first one, then obviously it's gravy. You go for the the closeout. You got your foot on their neck.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to press down. But if you lose Game 3, then Game 4 becomes extremely big for both teams. So as a home team that has a home court advantage, you want to get a split, and then you want to go home and try to obviously end it.
Well, I heard when you said Ty Lue and you called him by his government name Tyrone, I knew you thought it was over. When he said Tyrone, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. You don't believe this boy's going to do it.
Byron, tremendous insight. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Give it up for Byron Scott, everybody.
But Tyrone.
When we come back here on First Take, how many times will the King reign on top of the NBA after capturing the title last season? Don't miss Marcellus and Jalen's thoughts on LeBron James' future in Cleveland. Also, look who's here. A guy who knows all about winning chips with LeBron, Mike Miller, in the house. First Take from the land.
Or you would want to.
That's good by another three. Another three-pointer for Mike Miller.
He's coming here, bring energy, and let it fly, have fun, enjoy the moment.
Mike Miller, 4 for 4, another three. 6 three-pointers from Mike Miller. Mike Miller on fire, 7 three-pointers.
I had an opportunity to play in 2 NBA Finals. Now is a dream come true.
Good day. First Take on the road for the NBA Finals in the land. Our First Take fam traveled. We always appreciate them. They're next guest here who won 2 championships with LeBron and the Miami Heat. He's a sniper from 3, Mike Miller, and a friend of the show as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Mike Miller.
Thanks for having me.
Mike, before I get into my first question here, you have a little message for Will Kane.
Yeah, see, I've been watching Will. He's been on here the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Always hating on my boy LeBron.
Yeah.
We need to get Will back on set so we can adjust some things here, discuss a few things.
Yeah, set the record straight
Yeah,
there.
got to discuss a few things, Will.
I feel you. So, Mike, for the second year in a row, we're in the same situation here with the Cavs being down 0-2, heading back to Cleveland. What do they need to do to bounce back in this series?
I think the one thing that you learn through first 2 games is the fact that Golden State is probably better playing the scenario and the situation that Cleveland has gotten here doing. They played it up-tempo, fast. They're just better at that than Cleveland right now. However, with that being said, I think the adjustment needs to be made. I think you need to turn this into old-school Eastern Conference basketball. It needs to become physical on the defensive end. I think on the offensive end, they need to be physical as well. They need to play later in the shot clock, limit the possessions, let Tristan Thompson and the rest of those guys get offensive rebounds late in the shot clock. But what they're doing right now, and Jalen, I think you discussed this earlier, is they play a lot of one-on-one basketball. Golden State is trying to take away, JR, Kyle Korver, the shooters. That's cool. If they're going to do those things, now let's limit possessions. Let's play deeper in the shot clock. Let Kyrie Irving, let LeBron James play one-on-one basketball if that's what they're going to do, and then clean up the glass. But they have to limit possessions. Right now, Golden State's, getting 100-some possessions a game.
Yeah, I mean, you started in your role being a sharpshooter for the team, but we haven't seen the role players shine for Cleveland this year in this series. What do you see as the issue?
I mean, it's tough. I think Jalen hit it right on the nail on the head, is that they're trying to take that away. They're trying to make LeBron be a volume guy, which we've seen before. San Antonio tried to do that against us. So it's nothing that LeBron hasn't seen. The bottom line is they've got to find ways to impact the game in other ways. So whether it's Tristan Thompson, he does it without touching the ball anyways. He goes and gets offensive rebounds on the defensive end. They've got to find ways, and they will. They're going to be a lot different at home here, Game 3. It's going to be electric in the queue. I think you'll see a big-time difference in the role players on Game 3.
But see, the problem with the Cavs, and I do think this is going to be a fairly short series, is that they can't play the old-school Eastern Conference style because they can't get stops.
That's the problem.
See, when you look at the composition of the Cavs roster, the players that they play quality minutes, obviously Kyrie Irving is a terrific one-on-one player, and he's going to have an opportunity to not only be an all-star but an all-NBA performer. I love Kevin Love's rebounding, his passing, and he's playing terrific in this series. But after Tristan Thompson, who's going to give you energy and effort, everyone else is a specialist.
Yep.
J.R. Smith needs somebody to get him shots. So does Kyle. So does Channing Frye. But on the defensive end, along with Kyrie, those are guys that are getting taken advantage of by the Warriors because they have 4 all-stars.
No, obviously you're going to a gunfight with less guns, right? So what you have to do now is you have to muck it up. You got to get physical. All scorers want space. What Golden State does an amazing job of is they find the paint, they create disadvantages on your defenses. I think what they did last year, what Cleveland did last year, and they did very, very well, they're not doing it as well this year, obviously, is when they went to switching pick and rolls, they did a good job of making them take contested threes. When you get paint threes, where you get in the paint, kick out, shoot, that is such a higher percentage than one dribble, 2 dribble, pull-up threes or pull-up twos. They've got to find a way. You're right, they're not the greatest one-on-one defenders. But with that being said, they're hard. These guys are hard to guard one-on-one no matter what. So you have to find a way to keep these guys out of the paint and make them take contested twos. Now, a lot easier said than done.
I got something for you.
Right.
So Steph Curry and Kevin Durant teaming up to be the first duo to average 30 points in the NBA Finals since the early 60s.
Yeah.
You played with LeBron and Wade. Mm-hmm. We saw what LeBron did last year with Kyrie Irving, both scoring 40 points for the first time in the same Finals game. Best duo.
Ever
and or, because I know you're going to probably say LeBron and Wade.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm a little biased. They put 2 rings on my fingers.
Yes, indeed. Who you taking? You want Curry, Durant, Bron, Wade?
Oh, I'm taking Bron Wade right now, only because to me, Bron was the best player on the planet. Right now, I still think Bron's the best player on the planet. Now, is KD catching up? Absolutely. KD's been doing this for a long time, though. He's taking this stage for people to really start enjoying and watching it. He's the hardest guard in the league, period. So I just think that at that point, to take the lead, you have to be the best player on the planet. LeBron James is the best player on the planet. D. Wade was so good. Like, they don't understand. Like, you know, you see it. Every time a guy gets older, it's like he wasn't that good. Yes, he was. Watched old tape. But the best ever combination is probably Jordan Pippen.
I'm rolling.
Yeah, I'm with you there. LeBron James has been here in the last 2 years going into the postseason that starting to slow down, you know, because of the regular season, resting, calculated, going out there, just trying to make sure he's ready for the marathon. He's hearing it again right now. KD has surpassed him. Is the best LeBron James behind him, or you still see something forward?
Forward, for sure. I think the one thing he's done a good job of is I've watched him. He takes care of his body better than anyone I've ever seen. He continues to do things to allow him to...
Hold on one second, because you're a friend of the show and we got a lot of love for you. Ask and you receive. I want to make sure this guy hears your argument. Let me move over here. I'm getting over here.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I'm standing right over there. Mike Miller wished you were out
Let
there.
me move out of the way for this, actually, so you got some eye contact.
Wishes. I like to
I
grant
can't
wishes.
wait. I can't wait.
Here I am.
Well, listen. I know you got the stats and the computers and all this stuff.
I don't have a computer.
The only thing I didn't like on all this stuff was when you talked about his leadership.
Not today. Okay, not today. Let me hear it. Yes.
Okay, I've never been around a better leader.
Yes.
And that's the one thing. Like, you guys had this discussion in Oakland. He is to me one of the best leaders ever. Like, he makes people better around him. He makes average people great. And he does that by leadership and by the way he plays. So that was the only thing. Like, you can take the stats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
His numbers speak for themselves. Like, I mean...
Okay, so I know what you're talking about. I think that was yesterday or the day before, where I said if Kyrie Irving's not playing up to his potential, or Kevin Love, which Kevin's playing great, or J.R. Smith is not playing up to his potential, that's a reflection of LeBron. Now, I heard everything you said just now, and I believe you. There is all deference to you on knowing LeBron both as a friend and as a teammate, and what kind of leader he is, and how he makes other players better. This is coming from a place of respect, not hate.
Okay.
I don't do this thing where I hate LeBron James, or I think he's done and over, or he's trash.
You're close.
I do hold him.
Pretty close, though.
No, so you're listening with your heart. You're listening with your heart. What I do is this. I hold him to his own standard. Now, this is the argument. I do want to hear your response to this. If LeBron is the leader of that team, and I believe he is, if he dictates the outcomes and the way other people play, that's what leadership is, not just how you play, but what you inspire and require of other people. If those guys around him are not playing the way they should, is that not a reflection or a statement on his leadership? Not of all time, Mike, not when you played with him, but I'm talking about in this series getting ready for the Golden State Warriors.
I don't think it's a reflection of his leadership, and I'm going to tell you what, I think obviously does he have to do things to help them be better? Absolutely. There's people in professional, not just in basketball, but in life, where you have to make people better. People are just better at some things than others. LeBron James just happens to be the best player in the world. He has to make guys around.
It's getting close, KD. I just heard you. You just said it's getting close.
So he makes those guys better. The bottom line is, just like when I was in Miami or here now in Cleveland, he can't put the ball in the hole. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna make the plays. Also, you got to give credit to the way Golden State. Like, you can't discount how good Golden State is defensively and their scheme.
Yep.
You're gonna lose your mic
I'm
here.
gonna lose my mic. I'm getting worked up over you, Bill.
He has that
Let's keep
effect.
it verbal if we can.
But that's really, you know, to me, I don't think you put that on leadership. I think obviously game one was a disappointment.
Yes.
You come in there, it didn't look like they had a whole lot of energy. You didn't really learn a lot from game one. Did you learn a lot from game one?
I didn't learn anything. The Golden State Warriors only had 4 turnovers.
That was tough.
Unreal.
All right, I hear you.
All right.
I appreciate you
Well,
giving it
hey,
to
listen,
me.
I appreciate you coming out here.
Give it up for Gay and Mike Miller. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Come back soon. After the break, we're bringing Mollywood to the land where the fans get a shot at these two. First Take from Cleveland. Keep it locked. Oh, that sign looks nice. Can I get a hey, ladies?
Hey, ladies! And when I'm done, they gonna be saying my name, my name, my name, my name. I've been waiting so long just to have this moment.
FRG.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So, Harold, I understand you got a question for the fellas.
Yes, ma'am. Who should be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns next year? I know it's
The Browns, huh?
Browns.
Your team. Okay, respect. Brock Osweiler, don't give up on him just yet. And Deshaun Kaiser, I think if I had to pick right now, they got to play it out. But one guy is unproven and one guy hasn't proven much. But still, those are the two I think that's going to be there in August preseason. We'll see how it battles out.
That position has been taboo for your team.
Yeah.
I don't wish that on anyone. What happened with Johnny Manziel? Can I name 50 other guys? Seriously, I'm not a Brock Osweiler guy.
I hear you.
Don't believe in him. Anybody but him is my answer.
I tell you, I've been through the drive, the fumble, Red 88, the Browns.
Yes, indeed.
Man.
Tim Couch.
But I'm still a diehard Browns.
Yes,
fan.
indeed.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, and at least you got LeBron and the Cavaliers. Let me get we got Cindy here for us. Cindy, come on up. Thank you so much for being here. Another big Cleveland fan from Ohio. What do you got for the guys?
Do you have a problem with the Seahawks signing Austin Davis over Colin Kaepernick?
I have a problem with him not being in the league signed right now, but not that situation in particular. He wants a chance to be a starter. He has the talent to be a starter. You go there, you're a backup. Russell Wilson is their starter. So I think he wants to go to a situation where he has opportunity, and it wasn't in Seattle.
And also, this should be a reality check for those that want to express themselves. They're passionate about something. There was a political topic, and he chose to take a knee. And because of that, that's the true reason he's not on any roster, including the Seattle Seahawks. So it's not just them. I have a problem with not signing him. I have a problem that he isn't signed.
Cindy, let's keep it in the family. Thank you so much. Where's your baby boy? Oh, there he is, all grown up. Andrew, how we doing? What do you got for the fellas?
All right, guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do we want to hear LeBron and Kevin Durant's rap song?
I don't want to hear it. I don't think there are going to be hot bars that's going to make Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole or Royce the 5'9" cringe. But to see those guys have that level of kinship back then and now see them competing in the NBA Finals is amazing, but I'm cool on the rap song.
Yeah, I would say really low, like a 2, maybe, just because most athlete rappers, they're whack. Like, let's just call it what it is. There's been look, Damian Lillard can rap. He's a real rapper.
Before the game, though, when he got his headphones in, walking into the arena, he's putting it down. Like the King
we don't know
somebody
what
else's
he's
song.
saying.
Somebody else's song.
It's
Yeah.
not lip syncing.
But we heard Iverson, we heard Kobe, we done heard a few guys. Jalen, you ever spit before?
Not going to be able to do
It is not a pretty picture usually crossing lanes like that, so I'm good.
But admit, I want you.
Shaq was good.
I want you both to admit it. You want to hear the song. You want to
I
hear
heard
it.
the first
It's going to be
verse.
the A block of Sports Nation. Stop lying.
I heard the first verse, I was like,
Jalen and Jacoby will be all over that.
We will have it on the
wanna
show,
hear it.
but we don't want to hear them rap at all. I'd rather see them play flag football. How about that?
You know what's going to happen in that. LeBron, all-Ohio wide receiver out of St. Vincent St. Mary, so he's got that covered.
Andrew, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
Love it.
That is a wrap from Hollywood. When we come back, we know the Cavs are in a big hole. So what is LeBron's future in Cleveland? We will discuss that, not just this year, but moving forward. First Take rolls on. So here.
3,000 miles?
Okay, finals continues all week here in the land. We are going to be back here at the Hoffer House for shows at our usual time, 10 a.m. Eastern. Doors open 8:30 a.m. Eastern, but make sure you join us for some special primetime shows. Gentlemen, you know you're not done. We got shows tonight, too, and Wednesday. They start at 7 Eastern. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Come on down, pack the house. We're having a good time.
Putting in some overtime over here, huh? Let's do it. Finals.
Some news out of Staples Center. They've announced they're going to honor Kobe Bryant with a statue right outside the main entrance. The Lakers have released an official artist rendering of what the statue will look like.
No.
Looks like a moment from that 81-point career night from Kobe.
Hey, Jay, they really captured your expression of being unable to guard him.
Welcome back into the Hoffer House here in Cleveland. We're having a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody for coming out. And Jalen, Jalen, today's been a big day for you, not just because you're here on First Take with Marcellus and I, but Jalen versus Everybody, your show premieres tonight, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. We're going to have a show leading into it. Looking forward to that as well. What can we expect from this Jalen versus Everybody besides that fine statue I just saw?
7:30 Eastern is going to be a game-changing moment in sports and multimedia entertainment. We shot 80 hours worth of footage. It's going to be 22 minutes worth of television. It's basically the story of how a single parent juggles career responsibilities as well as being a parent and traveling and the pressures that we have to deal with in each of those situations. So I'm really excited about it. Marla Gibbs is my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Anna Marie Horsford plays my mom. We have A-list executive producers, Nanachka Khan and Melvin Marr. A-list director and Chris Koch. We're going to bring it. Everybody's going to be excited about the project. I can't wait for tonight.
Hey, I'm pumped for you, big dog. I made a cameo. You had greater people out there making cameos as well, right?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
As you see, we had Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan. You just saw Michelle Beadle. It's going to be a movie, as people like to say. Make sure you check it out at 7:30 tonight.
My man, congrats.
Right now, though, LeBron's got something big coming up, too. LeBron, how you feeling?
LeBron, you just feel it's a case where you guys just need to defend home court at this point?
Well, I mean, are you a smart guy?
I think so.
I think so, right? So if we don't defend home court, what happens?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm asking you.
Well, yeah, you guys are looking at getting swept.
All right. So to answer your question.
LeBron, did you get any? Are you going to need? Did you get any, or will you need any IVs?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Just need some food and some wine. I'll be all right.
Hey, LeBron. Usually you're a podium guy. I mean, in the finals especially. Is just coming doing this in the locker room any reason for that?
Yeah, there's a reason.
You want to share?
No.
When Kyrie's having a rough night.
It has nothing to do with wins and losses, though.
Jalen, has the Cavs window closed?
The Cavs window has closed.
Why do you have to yell it like that in Cleveland, you Ohio hater?
Right.
Go back to Michigan. 81. Marcellus has it closed.
It took you guys 50 years to win a championship. You think you're going to get another one?
You want 81 olives in that martini?
Look, of course the window is still open. The king is used to people taking shots at the throne. He's heard it the last couple of years. He heard it last year down 2-0. The king will be back. You can't win on points. You got to knock the champ out.
Cavs winning this series.
I got the Cavs winning this series.
Oh, man, they need.
All right. Everybody, appreciate you being here.